Welcome back to Dream Toolbox. I want to talk to you today about something that we don't like to talk about usually, called failure. Believe it or not, one of the biggest obstacles to achieving financial freedom and an abundant and successful life can be summed up in 3 words: fear of failure. Notice that I did not say failure, I said fear of failure. In reaching any goal worth having, there will be failures along the way, often many of them. No, it is the fear of failure that dooms most people to lives of frustration, living far below their potential. The reasons are actually quite simple. Fear of failure does several things, all of them bad. Number 1, it persuades us never to try. Or 2, it makes us give up on ourselves or our dream at the first major barrier. Or 3, it paralyzes us at exactly the times when bold action is needed. And finally, it undermines the inner belief of "I can do that" we have talked about already and are starting to build. But to deal with the fear of failure, we first have to look at the possibility of failure. Every time I start on a new project that I think has any risk of failure, I do something that most of us find very uncomfortable. It's not comfortable for me either, but I have learned that doing it is one of the best predictors and guarantors of success that I know. What is that something? Before I take action, I ask myself these questions. What is the worst thing that could happen if I try this? Then, can I survive it if the worst thing goes wrong? I'm not talking about the kind of physical survival that could happen in a war or natural disaster. I mean, can I survive it economically, and can the relationships that I cherish survive it? And number 3, if the worst happens, can I do more than just survive that failure? Can I rebuild my dreams and try again? My experience has been that in almost all cases, even the worst case situation can be overcome. But looking at the risk squarely in the beginning takes fear out of the equation. Fear of failure is the biggest cause of actual failure, usually because of one basic reason. Fear of failure causes us to give less than our best. It is human nature to build in an excuse. I could have succeeded, but I didn't have the chance to give it my full attention. Whatever that excuse is, banish it from the beginning. It is a little scary to put all your hopes and dreams into a project, but anything less almost guarantees failure. There is a saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Mark Twain turned that around into a saying that I think is much better when you're talking about committing to a project. His phrase was, put all your eggs in one basket and watch that basket. The lesson from all this is very simple. Look at the risk of failure squarely in the eye and decide if you can deal with that risk if it happens. If so, commit completely and make sure that failure doesn't actually happen. Every successful business I have ever created has had one or more near-death experiences in which failure was possible and even probable. But because I had faced those possibilities in advance and was committed to success in spite of those risks, I managed in almost every case to turn potential failure into success. Out of 11 businesses I founded, 1 did fail, but the failure was one of the business. It was not my failure, and I went on to more successes. You can too.